was on.
I mean, I can't really look at it. I have to drive my car.
That's what she said. So here we go. Dream Warriors 43. P the Mark.
43.
We are in traffic, about to see. It's fitting that we're doing this from inside of a car.
I got my glasses on. I got my sunglasses.
We're about to see Baby Driver.
Yeah.
We're both Edgar Wright guys. We're ready.
We're seeing it in the RPX theater.
Oh, are we really?
Yep, so it's going to shake and shit. It's going to be nuts.
I still have to buy my ticket.
RPX.
I want to get chicken fingers. Shit. This movie, this theater has good chicken fingers, and they have French fries.
I just want an icy.
Oh, you want to go for an icy? What do you got here? Is this a
cherry icy?
Oh, is that soda or is this a milkshake?
Soda from like that's not a milkshake.
No, well, I want you to get your milkshake because you had the meltdown before.
I'm gonna get a milkshake in memoriam of what's his name retiring.
Yeah, Mark is also wearing a very cool red, white, and blue Express short-sleeve shirt.
I've been America all week.
Okay, so real quick, expectations. Like we monitored the reviews for this, so we know. We kind of know that we're pre-expectations. We're going to enjoy this movie. That's what we're told.
I don't not like any of his movies. I like all Edgar Wright movies. So, favorite Shaun of the Dead, hands down. So I'm in this, and it seems to be every movie since Shaun of the Dead. Every movie does have a lot of music involved, and it does have choreography in the music itself. I forgot Shaun of the Dead did, especially when they're fighting.
Yeah, we were kind of talking. I don't know if that was on our latest episode. We kind of touched on it. That Shaun of the Dead is very, and then to me, very music driven.
And then he does more with sound design in Scott Pilgrim, and then this is the first in Scott Pilgrim. Is that right?
Yeah. No,
he did World's End.
He did World's End, which is like, that's okay. But then he did say, I've read a little bit of an interview with him, and he said that with the unmentionable Marvel movie, because he refuses to watch it. Oh, okay? Well. He refuses to watch the movie that he's credited for writing, but anyway, that he wanted to start this movie before that movie came out. And it took him 4 additional months to get this movie streamlined, greenlit, and also he was on like an airplane, and the guy next to him was watching that unmentionable Marvel movie, and he cracked open his laptop to work and didn't even want to see the movie.
I don't know how I'd feel. I don't know.
Even though he's friends with Paul Rudd and says he just had dinner with him.
I guess it's really different. I don't know.
But Edgar Wright did see Civil War. So, that's it. Well, anyway, we're going to go. We got 20 minutes. I got alcohol. I got the Mummy drink. Same drink that Mark and I were drinking. The other Mark. We call this the Mummy. It's grape soda and tequila. Okay? It's good to go. Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, let's rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Baby Driver time. Road to 50.
Let's do this.
Tonight you'll be gone.
Alright, we're recording. Whoa. Oh, it's alright. Yeah, you can keep that up.
Here we are.
Yeah, we just got out and we are hitting.
We are baby drivering.
Yeah. Now,
please stop your car, sir.
Now we're hitting. Now we're going to hit Studio X.
Studio 8X.
It's our secret. It's the secret bunker.
This is it.
And we're just going to next move is we're just going to sit down, discuss this.
Man,
rock and roll.
Unpacking it. I'm unpacking it.
Yeah. I think we both need. We need a little bit of time to organize thoughts, and then I think there's going to be.
We do initial. Let's say the initial.
Yeah.
You do a grade. You want to do like a grade?
Okay. No.
A grade?
You can do a grade. I only do see it or not see it.
Oh,
that's the only thing. Like, what else do you need to know?
Well,
right?
Yeah, well, sort of. I mean, I'm an artiste. Like, so I'm always about like, even if it fails, it kind of doesn't fail. Like, I'm kind of all over.
Yeah,
with
but you can't make that statement because that's not consistent with your view of all movies.
That's true.
But
Atomic.
but I will let you have that statement right now.
There we go. I'm gonna go. All right. Well, no. Well, then if I go with your see it, don't see it, I would say.
Well, no, you can.
Oh wait, I can't.
You can grade it because you graded it. When,
I did grade it when
we were talking in theater.
It's true.
You know what? Let's
double grade.
Let this stew, and let's just sit down, grab a little bit more alcohol because the tequila already washed through my system. So I need more tequila. I need more energy drinks. I need Jamie Foxx's. I believe that was a Bape red camo blazer that he had,
that was like
which was all hot sauce, and he was rocking red and black, which is like the only stuff I wear.
Yeah, we could do performances
at the gym.
Let's do performances. I don't like Jamie Foxx in general.
Oh,
normally. However,
I Miami Vice. He's so fucking cool in that movie. I want to be Jamie Foxx, and he's having sex with that black girl in the shower. It's just hot.
I thought you meant like right now.
Look at these people crossing the street.
Look how they had a good time.
Look at that girl's little.
You guys had a good time.
That girl's little perm.
She's a sailor. She's got.
I even know perms.
Like a little.
I know. What? Oh,
like a little sailor thing. What do you
like anchors?
It was in that, yeah, the anchor was on her. That means she's a sailor. She's in the Navy.
Oh, really? I just saw her perm.
In the Navy.
I was capsulated by her perm.
7 Seas. We should just do our shows in the car.
We could
just drive around.
We could just we could do. All right. So like you want to get into it?
Let's do straight performances. So performances first off. That's Han Solo. He was literally wearing a jacket where it looked exactly like Han Solo's.
Which I thought
vest,
right.
Which I thought was awesome.
I thought that was I thought that was a little funny. So my overall takeaway, and this goes right into the rate or how I rate this movie, is artistry or not? Because I do agree with you. This is very stylized.
Look at this guy right
here. Yeah, he's going down the wrong way street. We just saw a car go down the wrong way of a one-way
He's baby
street.
driver, and he's like,
people.
Where I go, we don't need roads.
Yeah,
that's
I just wish yes, that is Back to the Future. But I would say that this movie is absolutely pointless and overhyped.
It's very overhyped. Very overhyped. Well, okay, first off, number one, the original concept. Congrats. It's not like we saw a preview for...
Not original concept. Right? You can't say this. The plot of this movie is
I got one more job. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Gosh.
This guy. Yeah. I thought he was gonna hit that blue Mustang. Well, I would say like there's original elements. There's original like presentation to this movie. There is nothing within the story that we haven't seen. There was no curveball that I like really didn't see coming. Performances, top and down, amazing.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone had good performances.
Good. This is the best John Hamm ever.
Yeah.
Best John Hamm since Mad Men, really. He hasn't really been able to do anything. He hasn't really been... He just has been unable to do anything.
It's tough, you know? Like, but he's on the track. I would say that the reason why this movie is pointless because it never felt like it had to get to a place, right? It was like kind of like, hey, like here's one like thing after the other, but we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, how long was it? It was maybe a week long, like the whole time span all the way.
Yeah, I guess within a week. Now there's logical things that I just have trouble with as I'm watching it. One of it being that he did all of these jobs, right? He did all these jobs only getting peanuts, right? He did the jobs to pay off a debt, and he got paid just enough money to live, right?
It seemed like $10,000. I would imagine that's pretty good. It seemed like it was like a $10,000.
Yeah, I mean, is he doing 20 jobs a year? Is he doing 10 jobs a year?
I think he's been doing it for
a couple years.
They kind of referenced it.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for like 10 years.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So at this point, everything is perfect. No one really bothers him. No, there's no confrontations, and
He's
then
a Mary Sue for the beginning.
yeah, well, and then all of a sudden, like, it's almost like it logically makes no sense that all of a sudden now this is when things go crazy. Like Kevin Spacey has no pre-qualifiers anymore.
Hold on, he's like a Jedi. See, if he lets a girl in, you know, he's gonna kill a bunch of Padawan learners.
Right.
It's kind of like that.
Some Yinglings.
That, like,
he's killing some Yinglings.
He's killing some Yinglings.
Which I could do right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
That's one of the logical like steps you would have to make to enjoy this movie further, which is to be like, well, all of a sudden we have like a crime, well-oiled machine that's been going on for decades. That's essentially get with Kevin Spacey's character. That he's a well-oiled machine, never uses the same crew twice. Everything's mapped out. He's got connections within connections within connections, and now all of a sudden he puts people together that are combustible and strictly murderous, and so
they seem to be big scores. These scores are huge.
Yeah, but Baby though is getting he doesn't like being around the crime. He tries to save lives. He has like a heart. Now all of a sudden in the course of this movie, this is the first time he's seeing some of this stuff.
Right.
So so you've done 10 years or whatever. You paid off this huge debt. It took years and years and years to do. Now all of a sudden you're seeing this level of violence, and now it's bothering you, or like none of that came through. And to me, it was just like this. To me, it was just sloppy. To me, it was just like, hey, these things have to happen because it's a crime movie, and we can do it because we're using criminals as our like characters. And number two is that you had no sense for him to get his freedom. You really didn't care for him to get his freedom, and not that it mattered, because even if they got away at the end, would you? Like, there was no vested interest at that point. Like, he's been a part of murder. He's actually killed people, like Baby. Like it's almost like, all right, so like you don't really care for him.
I just didn't get the motivation. So like the one thing that just popped into my head, True Romance. I bought into their romance immediately.
Yeah, so
this is the problem. That's to me this is the issue.
That also ran through my head. I thought this was part True Romance, especially with the diner scene.
But you get them right away. They become like a thing right away.
Yes.
And you're like, I support this.
Right.
You know, I support Clarence.
Yeah, it's like Mickey and Mallory, another fucking Tarantino script or story. It's like...
But I get it right away, and I just didn't buy... It was, like, the meet cute wasn't that meet cute. I don't know if I can use that twice. Can I use that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
meet cute.
Own it.
So meet cute is when, that's the story structure where basically that's when they meet, and it's super cute. That's literally what it means. But it's just not that, it didn't totally grab me. So then when the motivation is like, we need to get out of this place and get in the car and leave, it doesn't exactly hold.
Correct.
And that's the motivation to say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, and now I completely,
it's your MacGuffin, really. That's your full motivation of character.
Yeah, and what about the ending? Did you buy the ending?
Well, we won't spoil. I mean, I would go that we don't spoil anything on the ending. I kind of feel that could be...
I'm going to say that he gets arrested, and that's even fucking worse than the multiple endings of Lord of the Rings, of the Return of the King. Okay, and this is a shorter movie, and I would have been so much happier if it ended with him just getting either arrested or they do Thelma and Louise. They line up the cars, and he like starts to peel out, and it fades to black. Okay, but I told you, like, right, and I don't care about spoiling because this is Dream Warriors.
Yeah, but it's barely out.
I don't care. This is Dream. You know what? If skip it then. Skip. You know what? Maybe we'll do a little opener. We'll re-record a little opener. We'll say, "Fuck this. The hell with this. If you haven't seen the movie, skip this episode." We'll just say it, right?
Okay.
Would that make you feel better?
Yeah. I mean, see, I'm a big I'm a big audience member. I like the audience. I try to like eke out. I mean, I ruin my own stuff. But, you know,
this is well documented at this point.
There's my phobias and weirdness is completely well documented.
Yeah, there's
my problems with things.
Next time you sit down with your therapist, just have them listen to Dream Warriors.
This is also an additional therapy session.
Yeah, but no. So here's like the other big point with this is that the movie had an interesting environment. It had like a little cute spin on crime and a crime organization. Amazing characters. Everyone looked good, right? Like everyone just looked like.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing:
especially that girl. Oh my God, who is she?
I don't know.
I'll jump on that, honey.
The thing that just didn't get me necessarily.
Both girls.
Is I just don't exactly. I don't know. I could have done with, like, I wanted a little bit more Joe Bernthal. I wanted to see what that was about. That was just there and gone, just like that. I wanted a little bit more of that. I think I wanted a little bit more of him doing stuff.
Yeah, and
he was there for like a hot minute.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they should have had like 3 or 4 heists. They had to be. I think they should have had a lot of them.
Well, yeah. See, like, and here's the other thing I don't get. It's like, this dude drives like a magician. Even in the beginning of the movie, it's like he's doing things that are like kind of like so amazing. Like, they're just amazing. If they're doing this stuff in the same town, like, just for example, let's say they were doing heists like that and driving like that in Philly, how long do you think it would be before people would like the law enforcement would be like, hey, there's been like 5 robberies in the course of this year, and they all have a crazy driver. I think they're connected.
Right.
I think that this dude that drives like a stunt person, or like who's driving like Rad Racer, or like Daytona 500 Sega Genesis arcade sit down. Like, this dude's driving like a cartoon. I'm pretty sure all of these crimes are connected. Like, it doesn't understate the crime.
Right.
Like, but I get it. Like, that's a part of the fantasy. My other small issue, okay, and I think this is because of this is another blowback of piracy. So all you people out there that get any entertainment for free, this is how you're damaging the landscape. So these people have to raise their pricing for the licensing, okay? So licensing good tracks costs more money, period. You cannot escape it, okay? A couple of my friends, I've been involved with some documentaries. They have to do like outside fundraisers, outside Kickstarters, just to raise about like, and sometimes they're just like so-and-so songs for like $20,000 to use like a 30-second clip of a song. 30-second clip. Mm-hmm. Okay, they don't get the entire song. Okay, so here's the thing.
It's this music down. We have to pay for the song.
Yeah, it's
that'd be fun.
It's expensive to get this music. The rates are high because people are stealing music. Period. Okay, the landscape of how these people make money through music has eroded. It's gone. Okay, so the licensing for music just takes it away from a lot of films. That's the point I'm getting at. This movie could have used, I think, some better music. I don't think it all came through. It all didn't resonate. But it's also not Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where you kind of have enough of a budget, and the movie itself has money. Yeah, I mean, like, you have
worldwide
additional
money.
Resources. Yeah, this movie could have, even when they wanted to go like old school and obscure, I don't think it hit. I don't think it was.
You don't think that obscure Queen song hit?
That was a tough one.
The first scene, it worked.
Yeah,
but if you were going to boomerang it at the end,
right?
Like, you gotta be like, all right.
Well, you know what I did like, though? I like when they were running out of the car and they had their, like, heat scene. Their, like, the chase scene from Heat.
I meant to grab that list. There's a list of 5 movies that basically he made this movie, and Heat was one of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so with the whole Heat scene, okay, I liked how the music was timed to like the gunshot fire. Like I don't know.
I liked it a little bit, but I thought it was a little too like Guardians of the Galaxy, like Kong Skull Island trailery. So to me, like I think that they got into that. I think that can be done in a trailer, but I don't think it can.
Yeah, but
it
like
kind of calls itself to it. Where I thought the first couple of times they did it, the first time they did it, where they went in the trunk and moved, they were just movements to the music, and then later on it was like literally like choreographed. And I was like,
And here's another thing.
Nothing makes me happy. That's a theme.
Yeah, well,
I'm miserable and grumpy.
Yeah. Well, here the other little thing too is the part that I was waiting for, that I thought was going to be a hook that they were setting up, was that when he lost his music, I thought it was going to be like he would find like a fun way to get music again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a big missed opportunity.
Yeah,
there.
And then it was going to be like, oh, here we go. Kind of like I kind of hate to say it, when Blade gets his sword back at the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
Okay, and it falls and he catches it behind his back and it hits the music.
Yeah.
And it's that slow motion camera zoom, and then you're like, oh, dude,
it's on now.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, here we go. Because
they even make reference to saying like, what's your go song? Like, what's your song?
Yeah,
like, when's it gonna hit for you?
I really thought that they were going to use the 3 rule with that, because they did it twice. And
all 3s.
Yeah, and here's the another thing that kind of stood out. So the first gang, the intro gang in this, the Punisher guy, the Walking Dead dude.
Right. So it was Punisher, Don Draper.
It's Punisher,
stereotypical hot Puerto Rican model. Okay.
Oh, but she's so soft on the eyes, that girl. Both of them too, and the waitress girl, dude. Did you see?
There's only 2 girls.
Well,
that's what you meant.
Yeah, the waitress girl too. Her legs were amazing. Oh my god, I was so into her legs.
That's why.
Yeah, no, dude. Like she had an outer swoop for her thigh, and her hamstrings were popping, dude. That girl squats, dude. You can tell. But no. Is that the intro gang? The Punisher dude was like, hey, this guy's weird. Is he retarded? Like they did that whole shtick. Okay.
Well, that's that's like
right,
because the first scene, the opening scene, where he's walking first they open scene, the actual credit sequence where they have the coffee and they put the words on the walls, wasn't super obvious, and also wasn't. I thought it was going to be that was a little. It was a consistent shot. It was a long shot.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, but it's kind of
you couldn't tell if he has like Asperger's. The first sequence, you can't tell if he was deaf.
Yeah,
does he have Asperger's? Like, what's going on with them? So that was just basically them. Joe Bernthal being the audience, like, what the hell's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, well, that's fine, and that was kind of cool. But now, like, all of a sudden, there's like the second gang, and now Jamie Foxx is doing the same thing that the Punisher guy was doing.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, does this happen now with every like new gang that this dude drives around? Like, okay, like we get it. But then again, too, like if these guys were of a certain level, they would not care. Why would you, like, and here's the thing too that was running through my head, like the Jamie Foxx character. Why would you screw with your driver? Like, everything you have is reliant on this dude. Like,
they set up,
die or go to prison, and then you mess with him? You're going to mess with the driver.
Yeah, but he set that up because he talked about the other driver. Actually, he didn't even know if say it was a driver, just a guy. He's like, this guy had a song on the radio and it was on the FM.
Right. Yeah, but this is a little bit even before that though.
Yeah, no, you're right. That was later.
Like just to where like I get it, but I thought like the Jamie Foxx character was like the perfect like pusher. I thought he
Institute.
Yeah. I don't know. That looks like a fun place, doesn't it?
Yeah. Actually, the crazy thing is, this is
But Mark and I just
7 minutes away from your apartment. However, I took the wrong exit.
Yeah. Oh no. Mark and I just drove through Kensington
and Fishtown.
Yeah. We literally just drove through the worst part of Philadelphia.
We made it.
We did it, Baby Driver here.
You did it.
Oh, I thought you were driving, so we could. I thought you wanted to
No,
record in the car.
I know. I'm not going. I never go 95 that way to come back.
Hey, Dream Warriors moment though. How cool is it that we're talking about
Hello.
43.
43.
Oh,
Road to 50.
what? There's lights.
Yeah.
You know, they're
Mind of their own.
well, they're on a Wi-Fi switch. And sometimes it just goes off. Let's just do this a little bit more gains, a little bit more. Hello. We're just going to deal with a little bit more feedback right now.
More gains.
More gains. Okay.
Less fat.
So, and also the interesting point about this movie is that Mark.
Are we in it?
We're recording. Yeah.
43. Road to 50.
Road to 50.
That's my slogan.
Wait. So, is what are we recording now? Like, where does this go within the show? Are we continuing what we were doing inside the car?
In the car. We're out of the car. You have to edit some of that down.
Yeah.
Because we got lost and then I got mad. Which is what I do. I get mad in the car.
I'm sorry. Is that you getting mad?
I wasn't really mad.
You were just perturbed.
I was like, I don't understand. I know my way around. That's the part. It's like I know where I am.
We just
And then
we
I
just
did
drove
not.
through Kensington and literally the worst part of Philadelphia. but yeah. So 43, Baby Driver.
Immediate reaction. Immediate
reaction. I thought it was a well put together, well acted, well stylized movie. Great acting. No point though. No point.
Now every
no
Edgar
vested
Wright
interest.
movie. Okay, let me think about this here. All right, Shaun of the Dead. Saw it. Wanted to watch it again immediately. Watch it all the time. That's to me pretty perfect.
Yeah.
I don't love Hot Fuzz. We talked about this. I don't love it. I've watched it a few times.
Yeah, it's okay. I've seen it once and I'm happy.
Well, World's End I only watch. I like World's End because I think that all the characters are the way everything kind of flows and it's the same story like multiple times.
Yeah. See, I like World's End because it involves alcohol. So I don't care. I'll watch that whenever.
You do love
whenever I'm flipping. I'm about to flip out now. Keep going. Tell us more.
And then
I need to grab some more water.
To me, and then Scott Pilgrim. I think Scott Pilgrim was amazingly watchable. If I have to but I don't want to watch this movie again. Like I figured I would see this movie 2-3 times in the theater. I don't even know if I'll see it again in the theater. So that's the thing. I don't know.
I 100% agree that
I'm surprised though. I thought that I would just be like, okay, this is it. It's hip. It's got speed. It's got Han Solo in it.
Well, we said before we went in that we were like already like conditioned to like the movie
by the media.
Yeah.
By the early reviews.
By the influencers. Watch. Like so here's a little bit of my pushback when you were like, hey, I'm an artist, I like these, like there's things about this that I can take away and okay. So like just explain to me how how you can have that point of view with this movie but not with Transformers.
Well,
because like,
it goes in acting and character.
Okay, because
there's no acting and character.
But Transformers has the most sophisticated computer models ever created for film.
Maybe, but if
that's not maybe. They're like $250,000 per model. That's how much
I'd rather
CPU strength goes.
I know, but I'd rather they spend like $30,000 on whatever Jamie Foxx is wearing. That's cooler. That's cooler.
He was actually, dude. I wanted to wear his entire wardrobe.
That's pretty cool.
This movie, but see, that's what I don't understand. To where it's like, it's almost like the tangible artistry is not good enough in movies, and then it's like fluff artistry. People hype it up, like because I think, look, I get light rigging, I get cinematography. But even in this movie, I thought they miscued some lighting. Some of the characters did not enter into light as I was expecting. I thought there was going to be a little bit more of a, just pick someone modern, like Louis Winding Refn, I thought there was gonna be a little bit more of that color and that shading coming in.
He got heavy red in the third act. Third
He
act
did.
in
Yeah,
but it was almost too much. It was almost like
yeah, it was kind of like, we know what you're doing. The guy sees red, and you go black. Like we were told that.
we were literally told that.
Yeah,
And I also didn't really get the logic of putting my like girlfriend in major danger to trick them. Like it just seemed like there was too many like there was like 4 sequences where you thought he died and was killed, and
yeah.
I don't even know how he would have gotten out.
I'll tell you, it was awesome when he was at the diner. You're like, oh crap, dude, he went through those cops. Like you're almost like, yes. You're like, all right, that's the way how he should have ended.
Right.
But but no, and now like even at that point, I'm like, what, like there's literally no arc, like not even for Baby, like okay, and I don't buy that he has a 25-year life sentence or 25-year sentence with optional 5-year parole. I don't even buy that. Like that, what this young girl who is like hottie patati is going to wait for him on any level. Period. Never.
Well, based on what date? They had one date.
Yeah.
That was ruined by Kevin Spacey. Really?
Yeah. By
it's kind of ruined.
It was ruined by.
They had no conversations. Did we see them have a conversation?
9 Lives.
There was a lot. It's kind of weird because I know that last week we talked about the style versus substance. They say that he's all style. I didn't see that until this. Yeah. There's just sequences just straight up. There was a Pleasantville sequence, like you said.
Yeah, but you know what though?
Even at the end, they did that. And but then they pushed it at the end. But they had a full rainbow in that end sequence, and I'm like,
See, and like I thought they were going to do all the things with the music. I thought maybe when he was in prison, he was going to go to sleep one night, and then go into like a vision with the music and see like his mother with the. I thought they were like really going. They really missed the opportunity. If they're just going to take scenes from other movies and jazz them up, which they did here.
That's what Star Wars is for.
Yeah.
That's what the most recent Star Wars was.
It just
they're like, we need a BB-8, we need a C-3PO.
Yeah,
we need baby dragons, so they did little baby dinosaurs.
Yeah, they should have just pulled the Thelma and Louise ending, right?
Yeah, I don't really know what I wanted for them at the end. Wasn't that invested that I wanted them to even get away.
Yeah.
I wasn't that happy they were getting away,
Yeah, same here.
I don't know. Now, you haven't watched the Get Out yet.
Oh no, I haven't. No, that was on Amazon Instant for $10, and I should have bought it, but it's only it's only
left $10,
like 15. Yeah, I just kind of that's just like another one where I get it, I get people like it, but just the just not like drawn to it. Just not like it just doesn't.
I was just thinking as a third act structure, the way it falls at the end, the way that you expect it to go, and then it goes a different way and it moves again. Yeah. And you're like, and I was invested to the end.
Okay,
credits.
So
that movie it still goes. It's still super successful.
Yeah, we'll check it out. And I don't mind us even sitting down and doing our own episode, like just even on Get Out. I don't care like if it's new or old. Because we kind of maintain like a frequency here, so I'm like I think we're comfortable like going through all like the new movie news and then doing like things that we like. Okay, but this movie just kind of it did get to me while I was watching it, because the things that were setting up the conflict just seemed to be like a whatever type of like setup. Meaning that this guy's crazy and murderous. The crime lord who's super careful somehow recruited this guy. Somehow you recruited a complete psychopath. Okay? And then I thought they were going to do something where when Jamie Foxx kills all those police guys. I thought they were setting that up to where like he's coming off as crazy, but he's actually like super smart. And then I'm like, oh, okay, like and then you're gonna find out that Kevin Spacey's like more dubious, or something. Like Kevin Spacey's like a crime lord. Like,
well, we still don't even when they have a sequence where they have to go pick up guns, so they go pick up guns, and then the crate says what,
It says,
APL,
it's
Atlanta Police Department.
yeah,
APL.
yeah,
And he recognized, so pretty much the conversation of him and the guy, that guy arrested him way back when.
right.
Which I think that could have been revealed better, like, because everyone just thought that he was just like a nut job, and they may or may not have been cops. Should have been something that had been like,
Yeah.
see, I told you they were cops, like a little vindication for him, because it just kind of comes off
Right.
weird.
Yeah.
And even when they go see Kevin Spacey, he's like, I didn't give him a phone call, so what'd you do? What'd
Right.
you do wrong, kids? Like, it's like, well, so I don't know, like, and the whole thing, I don't know, to me, all the sequences I think work. I think every set piece works.
Yeah, I mean, I thought
As like, if you had note cards on the table, like, you know, like, this set piece is going to work, like, that set piece is going to work, but the connective tissue, which is baby, essentially, I just don't know. And they should have just did a little bit more saying, like, you know, yeah, I do get off. Like, at one point, he's like, you get off on this, and, you know, you drive, and this is a way for you to
now,
escape.
Are you tired of... and I think this is why Drive resonates with me, where there's something to, like, I'm just a little just tired and weary of the cool criminal, like the cool criminal guy, kid, whatever, like the super hip criminal that is like essentially a part of like capital crimes.
Well, wouldn't you say like that the Jamie Foxx character was, what was his name, Bats? So it was Bats are crazy.
Yeah,
but when he talked to Buddy, he knew his backstory, probably.
Right, or something. That's why he was calling him Wall Street. Yeah,
Right. He probably knew it and took it apart.
Right. He's able to dissect. He even identified that something was up with Deborah, the waitress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with that, like, it's kind of funny because they were kind of building him up of like again, like being smarter than what he was coming off as, and you're like, okay, like they could be going somewhere with this,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And
like
they don't.
yeah, and then it's kind of like when they have the confrontation in the garage, and they go back to his place and they trash his place, find the tapes, because you know we're everything's Guardians of the Galaxy here.
And that was actually said. Now, no one has said that. Like, this is, and no review or anything said that. So essentially,
which is weird, right?
Yeah.
Which is also weird how you have reviews from across the country on YouTube all saying the same thing. None of them are saying anything to the point of like, well, I could not like this about, like, Chris Stuckman said.
He said he didn't buy the romance, so he was like, he gave it, I think, maybe an A or a B+.
Yeah, but I think he also said that there was nothing he would change in this movie, that every piece of dialogue was perfect.
Yeah, it's yeah.
What are we doing? Like, what is happening with reviews? Is it fake? Is it kind of like fake news? Like, fake news is now like a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Are these like fake reviews?
I think it's a momentum of like getting it out, having a polarizing concept. Whether it's this is the best, it's hyperbole on either end. Now, it's hard for me to say that because I know I'm hyperbolic about shit. I'm like, oh my God, did you read that? Did you hear that song?
But
I am excited about certain things. But then I also am the first person to tell you, like, oh man, the last episode of Twin Peaks was totally crazy.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, but even...
Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one's going to like it.
But here's the thing, though.
But it'd be me.
Everyone could like one thing. Everyone could hate one thing. Not everyone's going to have the same way of speaking of that. They're going to have like everyone's going to eat their pizza, and some people are going to say, I don't like the pizza, the sauce was this. I don't like the pizza, the cheese was that. I don't like the entire pizza. I thought the entire pizza. No one is like, hey, like this movie, like was coming in hot, and it's well made, it's thought out. It just like swings for the fences and misses. It misses.
And a lot of times,
I think if I didn't go into this movie expecting what I was expecting, I think if I caught this movie like just zipping through Netflix one night or something and watched it, I would have been like, you know what? Wow, it's funny how more people don't talk about this movie. That's kind of what I would walk away with. But this hype train that we're on, I think it can go both ways. It goes one way where you're expecting greatness, Rogue One. You're expecting this amazing thing, and then
Which is what we did. We went and we're like, all right, here we go.
yeah, okay.
Finally, a good movie. Let's go.
Yeah, and then the level that you and I went in was like, let's see, like it's kind of like movie versus film. Like, let's sit down and see a film. Let's go down and see the phases of production. Let's see all the stages like done well, personified, perfected. Let's sit down and see like mastery, okay? And kind of knowing that there's some conventions included with that, meaning, this is a low budgeted movie, meaning the movie's based around music. It's just a crime movie, but like, see what we're doing with that. Okay, now the level of letdown, I think, from something like this is far greater than something like Matrix, like Revolutions or Reloaded, because there's still like a level of enjoyment and kind of like there's things you still connect to with those bad movies, meaning like you have like a really good first movie that bleeds into the second movie and that it carries over, okay? But when you go into like a movie that you think it's just going to be a critical hit in you, and it comes up short, it really is like no different than your friends telling you they're going to set you up with the hottest, coolest girl that has like an amazing job. She's on her own. She don't need men. She saw a picture of you. She thinks you're hot, and she's really horny. And then you sit down to meet her, and you're like, okay, my friends' judgments are crazy. I'm going to punch all my friends in their faces. Okay, that's kind of how you. That's how I felt. I don't know about you. That's how I felt.
I don't know if I felt the same way. It's a bit of a stretch.
You mean you don't relate to my scenario? No.
Oh,
okay.
I will say that, like, essentially, it is interesting. So we walk out of the theater, and there was a group of a bunch of Temple students, right? Was it the Temple people? Those people?
Yeah.
There was like 5 or 6 of them, right?
Yeah.
And I went to the restroom, and one of them said the Guardians thing. So, spoiler, we already talked about it earlier. Go see the movie and then check this out. Essentially, which I thought was an interesting thing that they didn't really get into. So he records stuff all the time.
Yeah, I thought that was a setup too. I thought maybe
it was a setup to a joke later, but the joke wasn't that funny. It wasn't presented funny.
Yeah, and it started good. It started when the girl was like, "Yo, that's bananas," and I thought they were going to start to go through the tapes and be like, at that point, be like, "No, that."
But they played the same tape that we watched get recorded earlier.
Right. Yeah.
So he records things, and then he messes around on his computer and. Theremin. He's got like a whole bunch of different. He's got a whole setup.
He's actually has like an analog setup.
Right.
It's all analog.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. And he's taping it on an actual cassette tape.
Right.
So he has a bunch of cassette tapes, and he has.
It's like you're too vintage for your own good, dope.
It was and I was like, how do they even have a tape? How do they even have a cassette player at his garage? Like like at the place.
Yeah, at his place.
That's impossible.
The crime lord.
It was the crime lord definitely. He has an old Radio Shack cassette player, right? No, he doesn't.
I didn't think of that. That's awesome.
No,
that's a good insight.
So they make the joke that he's like, they found it recording it, so he's leaving in the middle of the night before the last job. It's the last job. So they're gonna do this last job.
Last job.
This is it. This ragtag group. Every week, it's me and my ragtag group.
Yeah,
it is every ragtag group.
It is like the,
right?
The age of ragtags.
This is it. We're gonna get. We're unexpected friends. We're the unexpected team. Great. We're all standing in a circle. It's Guardians. Maybe it's just the Guardians effect. So they.
Yeah, I see
maybe.
Some of that. Yeah. I see some of that.
So, I mean, because it's just like, that's what Suicide Squad basically tried to do.
And I guess, so just get to Suicide Squad real quick. So, that is where that movie shifted to where, it was like Suicide Squad, like David Ayer, and then all of a sudden it was like just the people they were announcing, and what they were including was like, boom, 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 boom. And then you're like, what is this? And then you're like, how can that work? And we just found out that it in fact cannot work.
Yeah.
Just off of the bylines of the articles. This just can't work.
It just doesn't. Right.
Just nope.
We just decided it's not going to work. So they have the whole setup essentially that he creates music based on people talking about him or conversations that he's had, and you can watch him create
a short song.
Yeah, which was I thought
Was
that
great.
was a
Very
halfway
inventive,
decent sequence.
super cool.
Yeah.
Later on, they actually play that, which I didn't want to. We already heard that, so I thought that was kind of cheating.
Yeah.
I was like, you have in front of you a briefcase of 50 tapes, and you pick a tape that we've already heard.
Yeah.
And then he plays a different tape, which we didn't hear, but that it was too short.
Yeah, and even that one, I'm like, come on.
And it wasn't that good.
They get the one with the waitress. I'm like, come on. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, or that was like an incomplete.
That should have been the fourth one. They could have done it. They could have done 5 tapes.
Yeah. Well, here
in a quick montage and go, this is stupid, because they literally say, hey, you have this recording device, and he's like, yeah. He's like, what do you do with it? And he's like, I make songs with it. Yeah. I create music with it. And they're like, yeah, right. Where are the tapes? They're at my house. Yeah. Okay. We'll go get them. We'll knock you out first. We'll go get them. Yeah. And then we'll all sit around and listen to it in the middle of the night.
Yeah, getting through that was just really, really weird. But when they started to turn on him, it was kind of like, I was just, where I was like, okay, they're criminals. This is okay. Like, they're turning on one another. This is what they do. And then even when Kevin Spacey turned on him, but when they started to play the tapes, at that point, everyone should have got signed on to Baby. Like, everyone should have been like, okay, this dude is 1,000% legit. He's
right. He's legit, and he's also as crazy as all us. We're all fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. And
let's do this.
Because I thought that's where they were going, where the girl was like, this is bananas. And I'm like, okay, that's funny, another banana reference.
Right.
Like whatever.
Second
banana.
And then the third one.
What was when
he walks in, and then when they go into the parking garage, and then there was the cop.
That's the fourth one then, because he said, you got banana in my ear. The girl says this is bananas. Bananas is what?
Come on, man. Rule of threes.
What are we doing with bananas?
And they're also not doing the same banana. It has to be the same thing.
I know.
The rule of threes is just the same. 1, 2, 3.
This movie has 4 banana references,
and only 2 of them only 2 connect. The third one was just a fun gag. A song.
Like, do you know what this reminds me? Like, so no one that we know references the 4 banana references. Okay.
Well, a lot of people don't. I mean, the one thing about our show, I think we talk about is we talk about story. Behind you is a bunch of story books about how to write and how to do. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, it's all a creative workshop. There's a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But we've talked about rule of threes. I talked about hanging the lantern, which they did a little bit.
That was actually really good. Yeah, but real quick. So what I'm getting at though is when a lot of these guys reviewed Guardians of the Galaxy, they all said there was too many penis jokes. They didn't think that the penis jokes were appropriate for a kid-driven Disney audience. Where the penis jokes in Guardian,
one and 2.
I think there's 2, right? Drax has one. He says his loins, and then they have the Kurt Russell God joke or whatever. Okay, and which were all kind of like just quick jokes. See, I've had people tell me that when their kids they can't watch the Transformers movies because of the cursing. Mm-hmm. Like, that's like a problem. And you know what? I didn't realize that until someone mentioned that to me, and I always watch those movies. So,
the 5th one said shit. There's shit like all throughout.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like, they are cursing a lot. But the thing is, like, that's what I don't get. Like, how can you and I sit down and watch a movie and kind of like really have, like, we liked it, but we had different takes on it, on like what didn't work. We just know something didn't work. Okay. I would probably have to watch this movie 5 or 6 times to pinpoint what the breaks are. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's same with Superman vs. Batman, where it's like, I could watch that movie now and stop it and just tell you, like, why this scene breaks, like, the movie, and now, like, where now it tries to get corrected, and where, like, it further falls apart. Like, sometimes it's like, it's like, usually when movies break, they continue a downward trend, but there's always, like, highlights and, like, notes that kind of echo to, like, kind of like what the good momentum was. And, like, and I can go through Batman vs. Superman like that. I can watch this movie and do the same thing, and this movie is far more simpler than Batman vs. Superman, just in, like, plot alone. Okay? But the thing is, like, I just don't understand how, like, have you not seen many movies if you think this movie is this, like entity, like that. It's this like masterful artistry,
Mm-hmm.
because it really felt like if if you were like a teenage kid and you watched Drive and you said, I'm going to make a Drive version of me and my friends, and teenagers wrote and directed Drive, it would be this. Like, it kind of felt like it did feel a lot like Drive, though.
Well, I just thought about the sequences. The first sequence is the heist going right to the payoff, to the coffee,
Yeah,
to the lightness.
Yeah.
That was like, and then to him dancing home.
Yes.
Right? And then he gets home, then it establishes his home life with his foster dad and speaking sign language. Great. Him making music. Great. Him going, okay, it's the last job. Then his life changes, but it wasn't like there should have been almost like a slow mo. There was a little bit of that, but like she comes into the diner and then they talk, but the meet cute isn't that great. Like it's just not that, it doesn't hit that heavy.
Yeah.
And then when he goes to do the next job, that job, things went wrong, which is exactly Drive, because there's a guy there who's, and he knew it as soon as he pulled in. He's like, there's someone over there, and that's a problem.
Right.
But he couldn't say anything. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you should be like, hey, I think something's off. And then they have the light stuff. And then even that getaway wasn't as good, of course. And it was confusing, and I couldn't really tell. And I thought the action in the second one wasn't nearly as well choreographed.
Yeah. No.
Like keep up the pace.
Well, you know what it was? He was doing like car, like acrobatics in the first.
He was doing Carfu.
Yeah, like Carfu, where like like again which is the thing that they did in Drive that I loved, and you have to do that in these movies. And it's who was the black character in Batman the Animated Series that they created that worked on the stuff in the Batcave?
Harold.
Okay, which was like
Harold's a real character, but they
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he became like Lucian in the Nolan verse, right? Like that's
I don't know.
like
Did they have? I don't remember Harold being Harold in the comics is a white, like almost retarded guy who works on shit.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what they did.
But then in like the Nolan verse,
I don't remember.
Okay, but then in like the Nolan verse, they had Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
like
Lucius Fox. Lucius Fox is a real character. Yeah, that's a real thing.
And but it's like that type of character explains that role. Like Blade had Whistler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in Drive, Gosling has the mechanic, and the mechanic builds the cars certain ways, reinforced chassis, more horsepower to the rear differentials, like the back tire spin, which is what you saw in that opening chase scene, where like the back tires are spinning at such a high speed that the car like almost like floats and glides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but they keep saying that
Tokyo drifts.
Yeah, well,
Tokyo drifting.
Yeah, okay. See, it's a little bit different because when you drift, the gears lock. Like the gears lock and they freeze. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then like you literally drift, meaning that like there's no push from the tires. Okay, but the thing is though, in this movie this did kind of like get to me. Like they kept saying we have to steal cars, but then he drives these cars beyond the limits. It's like he was almost like Cole Trickle. He drives them beyond the limits of the track, of the engine, of the tires themselves, and it's like, oh no, like they're doing like too much here. They're like I would have liked that what they established like within the physics of the car in that first chase scene, if that kind of went into the rest of the movie, where like the entire movie was like a little bit heightened and like fantasy. Kind of like people are driven by music in this universe in some way. In some way, they communicate through that. And some like it's something's off. This is not our world. This is like still fantasy. Okay, but then again, it's like fantasy, and then it gets grounded, and it kind of like it did take me out a few times. But that's a little bit of the problem of watching a lot of the movies. Because like you appreciate the solutions so well, and the solutions become like a code. They almost become like a Bible for you, and you know people are doing things wrong when they don't adhere to almost like logic in other movies and explanations from like other parts of fiction. And it did kind of, like, it would have been so different like if Kevin Spacey's so like kingpinish, like what you can't have like a shop to prepare these cars for you, like you know. And you know what, the other thing that kind of stood out when he's in, which was a horrible scene in the parking lot. The parking lot scene was disgusting. Okay.
The last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zero. Like
that is we've seen that scene.
It's just
100
but
times.
it didn't like do anything. Like it. I thought something was going to. It literally was just. But in every other movie, when two cars collide, like that's kind of like bumper to bumper type thing. They get stuck and they get stuck, and that's the problem. But in this one, no, you go through everything. In like in fiberglass cars.
And I thought that was kind of sloppy too, because he was going. It started cool because he was like, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to be in chase backwards. Yeah. And then you didn't really see that. You didn't have a reverse angle on that. I'm like,
yeah, and I thought that was going to be something that again
would have been awesome.
Reminded me of Drive 2, where when he's backwards, he spins and he blocks the car and forces the car to flip over. I thought they were going to do stuff like that. I thought they were going to do something to where like the music like heightens.
Now, what did you make of like when? Okay, so they have the second sequence. Someone does something wrong. They get rid of that guy during the coffee sequence. He goes to go get coffee, comes back. That guy's gone. Now he's in a trunk, and now it's Baby's responsibility to take that car and get it destroyed. Yeah. Now you don't see anyone at the junkyard. It's not a thing. Like that's kind of weird. And then so they get rid of that car, but he had like a weird, just like this is it for me. Like I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, but that's what
that's what that scene was supposed to do. But it just sat there, and I was like, well, this is the scene where I'm just gonna be like, you know what, this is not the life you want, baby. You know what I mean? Like, well, your stepdad's right.
And that's what's hard to buy about this, because if he's been in the game for so long,
he can't unsee this shit.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time he's seen this stuff. Mm-hmm. But every time he sees it in this movie, it's like the first time he saw it. Mm-hmm. And how do you it's like no different than like it's almost like what's her name? Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs, where she sees like the horror, like she sees like, because she's like a rookie agent, but she sees these things for the first time, and she's like horrified by it, and we're horrified with her, with the tension, like at the end of the movie where it's all dark, and like she doesn't know what she's up against. She's only read about what she's up against. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we get it.
Right, and it's really scary.
Okay, right. But it would almost be like if it's that same movie, but she's got 10 years experience. Mm. And you're like, how is she acting this way? This is not the first of any of this she's been through.
Well, that was the first sequence, like the robbery's going on, people are probably getting hurt, and he's just drumming on his... So and
they kind of...
And they abandon that. They kind of... on the second.
So, you know what it is? I would have to watch this again. I think every time they kill someone inside one of those places, the camera like shakes and shifts away. Mm. Okay,
like we know what goes on.
Yeah,
even during the even when they went to the convenience store and he threw the gum. Right, that person's dead.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Okay, which is all like, and then I'm like, why are these people doing this? Like again, it doesn't explain it. It doesn't. You just being a criminal psychopath doesn't explain why you would do that. Like, why would you kill a guy for bubblegum when you have literally the biggest score of your life?
Right. You can just take out one bill and buy gum.
It's so freaking weird, because like it is kind of like something to like the idea of the Tarantino gangster, where there's like almost like a formality to them, and there's a professionalism to them. And look, I believe this because there's shades of it in like other parts, like just of our culture and society. It's like the mob like never went away. The mob like evolved into something else, and people are like very pleasantly blind buy it. You know, they think if it's not Goodfellas or The Godfather, it doesn't. Like those guys aren't around anymore. Like it's not like that, okay? But but criminals know how to act a certain way. Otherwise, like they wouldn't exist. Like like not everyone does like stupid psychotic things. There's only a small percentage of criminals that are that. Okay, there's a higher percentage of people doing crimes that are not in prison that are like almost like uncatchable. Like even like murders, the amount of murders that are unsolved are like extraordinary. But this is not them. Like these guys are supposed to be career criminals. And you know what the other thing that bothered me? Later when the girl's chewing the gum, she's blowing bubbles. But he gave her chewing gum, not bubble gum. You can't blow bubbles with chewing gum.
He gave him like Trident, like white.
Right. Chewing gum, not bubble
It's
gum.
impossible.
There's a freaking difference.
Right.
It wasn't Big League Chew.
It's impossible to blow bubbles.
You can't.
You
I'm
can't.
like, come on.
This is the type of stuff that makes us insane.
We also saw someone there that looked like Edgar Wright. I saw that dude.
Yeah, I said, I was like, hey, man.
He looked like
I was like, hey, that's Edgar Wright. So the reason why we say, just to bring it back to Guardians, is that essentially, so yes, so basically there's an accident. That's why he has to listen to music all the time. He has tinnitus. There was an accident. His parents both, I imagine, both die. He only says, I miss my mother. His mother and father are fighting in the front seat, and they run into...
I think the father used to wail on the mother.
Right.
Yeah.
So you get some flashback sequences. It's the 70s mom. He gets an iPod instead of like a Walkman. This is your first iPod. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
So they have these like flashbacks, and it's fine. She has Farrah Fawcett hair. Okay. So basically, we know that's the origin a little bit. You don't know how he gets involved with this guy or why he starts driving. There is a little bit of Jason Todd. There was a scene in there where I was like, he's Jason Todd, because there's a part where Jason Todd was the second Robin who got killed, who got brought back, blah blah blah. But
the Red Hood.
He was the second. He was the second Robin, and Batman hired him because he stole Batman's tires.
Yes.
Like he's like, you should be Rob. I mean, other things happen essentially, but he stole his tires.
Yeah.
And there was a speech where Kevin Spacey's character, does he have a name?
I don't believe so.
I forget. I think he might. So he says, I was watching this, and like the sheer audacity of him stealing from me and boosting my car, I just watched it.
Yeah.
And I let him steal my car.
And having what he had in the trunk, which I guess I got lost.
The junk in the trunk.
Yeah, whatever was in the trunk.
Whatever's in there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was worth.
And I believe that was junk. There was junk in the truck song, but we didn't hear it.
Fine.
Because in the 50 tapes. So anyway,
that is true. Okay, yeah.
As we said, the tapes were stolen. The tapes were at the place. The tapes were at like the safe house where Kevin Spacey's character is. So after the last heist goes, wrong, baby can leave. He has money. He has the girl. He can just roll. But no, I need to go get my tape because I have a recording of my mother.
Yeah.
Amidst all the 50 tapes that he's made.
Yeah, it's...
in a different cassette tape.
Right.
So when I went to the restroom, someone's like, well, that's the Guardians tape. He's like, I can't leave. It's the same thing as like, I'm not leaving it. I'm not... They broke out of prison. He's like, well, hold on. I got to go get something.
Yeah. And you know what it was, though, too? Like, in Guardians, it worked because they got over with it. Like
they hang the lantern right away. He's like, that you're so stupid. Like Drax says, you're stupid. You're stupid. You're an imbecile or something like that.
You're the stupidest guy I know or something. Yeah.
And then it was like, okay. And you find out later why that hits.
Yeah, but
then you find out later in the epilogue before, like he's listeing to his mom sing, and that's good. You know what I mean? Like that's the button.
Yeah.
It's just not the button, not the DC button, not the Watchmen button.
Yeah, I was kind of going through Watchmen again, like in mindful of the button, and like I guess are we done? We're done talking about this movie.
Well, I guess we should conclude. I mean, the thing. I guess what bothers me is I just figured I'd have another movie I'd watch a bunch of times.
Yeah,
I was excited to have a movie that I watch a bunch of times. So the movies that I watch a bunch of times are only on like one hand. I can watch Citizen Kane a bunch of times. I can watch Transformers the movie at 86 a ton of times.
Oh, the animated movie.
Yeah, I can watch that a ton of times.
That's like half of a movie. I mean, I love that thing, but it's one half of it. It's so good until they leave Earth.
Until it's Rodimus Prime.
Well, when even and I'm so bitter with
That
the
Wreck-Gar.
yeah
That's
Wreck-Gar.
fun. Dare to be stupid.
Devo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Not Devo.
that's not. Oh, that's the lead singer
It's
from Devo.
Nope.
That's not Devo.
It's Weird Al parroting Devo,
Oh yeah.
but Mark Mothersbaugh, head of
I
Devo,
forgot Weird Al.
actually stated in an interview, he's like, I'm so jealous of that song because like it's so Devo and it's not me. I didn't make it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot Weird Al did
Yeah.
that song. I didn't know that, but
I mean, it's a takeoff. It's not a direct parody, but it's a takeoff of a Devo song.
like that movie's so weird because, like, I don't know if it ever got one of my theories for the Transformers animated movie is that the reason why they did the switch from like Earth vehicles to Cybertron, like designs basically, like fantasy, they go from tangible, realistic cars and airplanes to so essentially like the Takara line like had no licenses because that's just like it's kind of like when it's not capitalistic. So like one of these like it's not like a theory. So it's so essentially when countries aren't capitalistic, they have a very large black market. Okay? And the black market steals from like basically what the capitalists produce. So, in Japan and Takara, like they like they did come up with an innovative idea with the Transformers, but they essentially were like stealing licenses for the likenesses of the cars and the vehicles and so on and so forth. So when they came stateside, like, again, like the rollout slowed down and they, the people needed payouts and check sign and handshakes and all these other things. And then like, how long do you sustain that? Like, how long is that a freaking toy line? So you put them all in the movie, you kill them all, and you introduce like fantasy cars and jets. And now you can do anything you want in the world with that. And that's the way that the Transformers line was up until I think they were called like Trains Actors but they came back with the licensed vehicles post Generation 2. Okay, and they were like the officially licensed vehicles, meaning they had like Porsche 911, they had like the Jazz, like for Jazz they had like the Wheeljack. I think Wheeljack 2 was a Porsche, but that was like a racer Porsche. But like it took them a while to get it back, and then they were called alternators. That was the name.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And they were like $35-$40, but they were like licensed, and they were like just awesome.
And they were for us. They were for 25, 30-year-olds. Yeah.
Yeah. But no one for whatever reason, I don't know if it ever like came out in like interviews because I never really like followed up on it. If that was really what the intention was, if the intention really was to like navigate through the licensing disasters. So and they
that would make sense.
And they kind of like you got because like it's just funny that like I love the origin of Rodimus Prime in that. I love like the coming of Rodimus. I'm like, yes, this is like it works so well. And then they just like I remember even as a kid when they ditched them in the animated like in the cartoon, they ditched them and brought back like Optimus Prime, and then the show just got stupid and weird.
Well, they did Headmasters, and they were just trying to evolve and stay relevant.
Yeah, well,
and then it was messy.
Yeah, what happened was like so Rodimus, they did their episodes post movie, and then they brought back Optimus Prime in like 2 separate arcs. One was like the Return of Optimus Prime, where they find him on like a floating grave, like a floating like Transformer grave site. But I, as a kid, fascinated the hell out of me because there was statues of all the other like Optimuses or like Transformers, and it was always like, whoa, like who are those guys? Like what are and there was like nothing to compliment that at that point. And then then like he came back, got normal, and then like he became like it was just weird. But Headmasters I think only aired in 2 or 3 episodes in the U.S.
Headmasters was season 4, and it was like I think season 4 is only like 4 episodes or 6 episodes.
Yeah,
long. It's like nothing.
But then Japan finally got the series for themselves because people forget that Transformers is like a American property. Marvel like Marvel talent put that shit together.
They like named half of them.
Yeah.
They
like it's just
if
it's
you read
amazing.
Transformers like 1, that's
Yeah.
like Ralph Macchio and like Bob Badansky, like just they're like the Bumblebee. Like they named like all the characters in conjunction with Hasbro, which is interesting.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, same with G.I. Joe too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. See, but I do love that. So okay, I'm sorry. So what are your 5? So you're Transformers, Citizen Kane, but those are
Shaun
kind
of the Dead, Speed Racer, and probably Scott Pilgrim. So 2 out of like the top 5.
Yeah.
Like of the DVD of the Blu-rays that I have, like just kind of stacked like near my player. Like those are the 5.
See, I would say like.
But like, what day is it? Oh, I'll just sit down and watch this. I'll sit down and watch. And Shaun of the Dead, I watched again on Father's Day.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's amazingly watchable. Scott Pilgrim, amazingly watchable.
Yeah.
So I still go that I think Scott Pilgrim is technically, I think from a sound design perspective, and that's where I thought he would use more. I mean, I guess because in the sound design for Scott Pilgrim, he used feedback. He used someone like dropping a speaker. Like he used stuff all the time to edit that film. And in this, I think they did it a few times. The tequila sequence in this was correct and done well.
Yeah,
that was fine. Yeah. I thought that was very good. But I felt like every sequence wasn't as good as the last. The first sequence being the best. The next sequence I think wasn't that good with the Escalade. I thought that was a big miss, huge miss.
Yeah, I mean.
And then, I don't even
you
know because the sequences they get away from me on what they're supposed to be.
But they actually did something cool with the Escalade scene that you're bringing back, which is it solidifies, concretes the argument for an armed citizen. That when you are concealed to carry, you can actually prevent evil. You can stop things.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what that guy was doing.
I don't know, but it makes the argument.
But the other thing is
it doesn't matter.
Who was that guy? What was his motivation? Like, who was the leak? Like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
Why wasn't that a plot point? There wasn't any plot point in that.
Yeah, because he later shows up on a news clip.
Yeah.
And he cuts it. And that's the thing, too. I thought, like, the news stuff was going to add up. Like, he keeps cutting off the television. And then you find out that they're, like, talking about him, like, all day. And he just doesn't, like, know it or recognize it. And, like, a different level of heat is, like, maybe they're like, because they even kind of like have pictures of him circulating on security cameras.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, and no one's like, kind of like.
And then they give him the masks that they have a picture of what that would look like on a security footage.
Yeah.
You never see the inside of the post office.
Right.
There was no payoff. So they go in the post office to figure out like what the strategy is.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand why you would put the driver in a post office to stake out, to just kind of give facts. Which only the nephew understood shit anyway. Which is
really
goofy.
weird. Like why?
It's such a weird comic relief.
Yeah, the kid.
And then he even makes a joke later, the Monsters Inc. joke.
Yeah.
Which was pretty good. It's pretty good, but it wasn't that good of a callback. That was probably the biggest laugh in the theater.
Yeah.
Well, the whole point with the that I had with like the like, all right, we're gonna leave town, but I need that tape because my mom's singing on that tape. It's the only thing. It just like then.
You just wouldn't like
and then 5 or 6
that like just MP3 it and put it in
he doesn't have a computer.
Put it in your OneDrive.
He has like 50 iPods, which I thought was interesting. He's like, it depends on the kind of mood I'm in.
Yeah.
And this is for different days of the week.
But then what does he walk around with? Are his pockets full of sunglasses and
iPods?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Like, even that gag in the beginning when he keeps slapping the sunglasses off of his head, just, like, kind of, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, like twice would have been fine. But, like, he did it, like, 4 times. He had 4, like, so he's got 4 pairs of sunglasses in his pocket.
Sure. I'm just, to me, it's fascinating that guy, and I don't really know. Like, I've only seen, I think I saw half of Fault in the Stars, and the kids were watching, I fell asleep. I don't know.
Yeah.
She dies, he dies, who knows? I don't know. Whatever. But I don't, and then when I watched I think I watched part of the second Divergent for some reason, and he was like a pussy in that. Like, he wasn't good at it. Like, he was bad in that. He's not supposed to be, like, fighty.
Yeah.
Like, he's supposed to be in love with her, but she likes the other guy because he fights things.
It's so goofy, dude. It's
but,
so
like,
goofy.
But he's really good in this.
Yeah.
Like, he's really good. And I swear, like, that scene when he was walking down the street, I'm like, he's wearing Han Solo's vest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding.
I know. As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh my God.
I was like, that dude should... And I believe that he auditioned for it and did not get it.
Yeah.
And then everything that I read about this dude...
Yeah.
Alden Ehrenreich,
wow.
he is not good.
Yeah.
He cannot improvise.
So here's...
And then he ratted on the directors to get him, in a way...
Yeah.
To get him fired.
So here's the funny thing. So when we were discussing that, we said that, you know, like, I guess my theory was that, like, a part of, like, the trade-off was that these two guys would be able to pick who they wanted to work with, which seems like a fair deal point. Just when it comes to, like, hey, like, we have this thing figured out. And I think the studio even told them, like, he needs to say the lines in the script. And then they kept shooting and doing different takes and different lines of dialogue, and I think they were toying with it too much.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, which could confuse the production if like, you know, because, like, here's the thing: it's not like the actors talk to the studio. The agent, that's what the agents are for. Like, the agents are the ones that sit down with the studio and they're like, hey, like, what are we doing with this? And the studio's like, well, this is what we need from him. And the agents is like, yes, I will tell him. And then, like, everyone has this agreement, okay? Like, agents are a lot like how, like the union works in the NFL or, like, the NBA, okay? So everyone's told one thing, and then maybe, like, these guys show up and they're, like, really throwing, like, chaos into the mix, and that can throw off acting because, like, you have to have, like, a headspace. Like, you have to, like, embody something. And you might have to be like that for, like, weeks on end if it's a particular scene. Like, you can't escape that, you know, and that's why actors kind of get a little, like, loopy because, like, their headspace is just, like, it's hard to have all the things occupy the headspace when you're, like, 4 days into a crying, like, love scene or something. Like, you're like, man, that's torture. Like, it's hard to watch once. And it's like, yeah, that took, like, 3 days to shoot. And you're like, oh, my God. Like,
right.
Like, were they short days? No, they were 12-hour days. And it's like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, geez, maybe you do earn your money. But, but a lot of, like, what came out, you know, like, and them saying that, like, they thought he needed, like, acting. Like, how would they not know that, though? Like, how you not...
He's been in, like, 2 movies.
Yeah. And
so I don't know. Like, I mean, but they want someone fresh. They want someone who's like a...
I think he looks like, you know, like, he looks like it, though.
I get.
Like,
I mean, it's
know?
fine. I don't. We'll see.
I thought this kid was good, though. I think this
kid's good, man. I think he's, like, really charismatic, and I thought that sold it. And I bought them together. I just wish that there was some material besides fun, like, circle pans. Like, there was just too many like, shots of them. But they didn't have only had a couple pretty good conversations, but not ones that made sense. The Scott Pilgrim stuff just worked. It's like, hey, this and this, and that could be because of source material.
And I also but I also thought they were going to have, like, a similar, like, if you want to call it, like, come to Jesus moment when they got out of the diner and she really realized like what he is and what he does. Where she, like, at that point they had, like, they would be, you know, kind of be like Bonnie and Clyde, or like something like there somehow would be an out, and whatever that resolution was would be the point of the movie. Like, that's really like that. I was, like, looking for the hook after a certain while, and I'm like, oh my God, like, they're not marching towards anything.
Yeah, I thought she would have gotten hurt and it would have pulled him in some direction, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, that she would have stepped up or he would have stepped up. It just felt like, where were they going? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Where were they? I didn't get us a sense of, like, the geography or the town. Yeah. Or where we were.
And the funny thing, because all of a sudden they're in, like, Dukes of Hazzardville. Like,
and then there's a roadblock.
Yeah. Double roadblock.
Yeah.
That comes out of nowhere.
Right.
Like, but the thing is, I thought they were going to do something to her, like,
throw it in reverse.
Like Kevin
throwing the keys.
Yeah, like I thought they were going to do something to where, like, Kevin Spacey had those guys paid off, or, like, I thought that was going to be, like, the hook.
Or they've been like, yeah, go right ahead.
Right. Like,
these aren't the droids you're looking for. We're gonna go.
Yeah, and the guy gives him a wink or something, and I'm like, okay, like, but the other thing that did annoy me was that it's like this kid and his behavior in the movie literally created a windfall of death unnecessarily. A windfall of death. And like, you know,
Well, Bats did. I mean, that's what.
well, like Bats, the girl, John Hamm, like, you know, even Kevin Spacey, like all these people, and then there's like innocent people.
But that's why he's the driver, and that he can't stomach it, because the thing was when they pulled up and he saw the teller, and the teller recognized him, and he's like, and he looked like upset. He's like,
yeah,
go, like, get out of here.
right.
And that's where it kind of turned. And that was pretty obvious. That was like a pretty obvious set piece. He pulls up and he's like already thinking. You're already thinking. He's like, okay, this is a thing right away.
Dude, he was staring at. They cut to her like 3 times before he drove into
I get
it. And I'm like,
yeah, that was a little too obvious.
I'm like, they just Final Destination Jamie Foxx.
Okay, now here's the thing. Let's just have like we're gonna kind of summarize it here. We are not typical. We've seen too many movies. So, and the critics that we're kind of busting on, who have us on a pedestal incorrectly. What is now? So there's the critics. Then there's like us. Maybe not. Almost not. We're almost like anti-critics in a way, because we have our own brain.
We are.
But we also back it up. We're logically concluding.
Yeah.
And you can fight us on it, but as with the argument with my girlfriend on the asshole Tom Cruise discussion, again, 90% of the time, he's an asshole.
95%.
95%.
Yeah. And we kind of even found an angle why he's an a-hole in Legend.
In Legend, he is an asshole.
Yeah.
Because he steals shit.
He does steal stuff. He's a thief.
Absolutely. He's a dick. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job, Tom Cruise. All right, so my point is
hashtag good job, Tom Cruise.
keep running. Keep running with your hands up.
Yeah.
So, like, what is the world going to do with this? So, for example, like, The Mummies didn't do well. It's not doing well because it's not that good.
Right.
And Wonder Woman is doing great because it is good and it's consistent and it's getting very consistent business, and that makes me happy. Because it's a good product, okay?
Yeah.
I like that. Good job. And I still have problems with that, but not nearly as many as anything else this year. You know what I mean? So, like, I like it when good things do well, so I'm happy about that. Transformers, it didn't do well. Good, because it's shit. What is this going to do?
I think it this sets the stage. For some reason, it really sets the stage for a huge Spider-Man, and what is premiering now, right in the UK red carpet. It's got good pre-hype. I think it like, for some reason now, like, and you know what it is? It's like
this is the perfect movie that we need right now.
Yeah, and it's like a similar tone. Like it's kind of like a kid that's like misunderstood. It's similar. It's like younger, hip. Like this is a younger, hipper, whatever movie, and Spider-Man is like that. It fills that gap. And I don't know, like, this 2017 is going to go down as perhaps, like, it might go down as the summer that people were forcibly upset with franchises. Like, franchise fatigue really kind of, like, set in, and people, the audience, again, being, like a step ahead sometimes. Which, like, mostly are, but step ahead and, like, dude, Transformers not roundhousing the box office, Pirates of the Caribbean not dominating, and I kind of hate to say it, but Wonder Woman not, like, sprinting, like, did well, but not kind of, like, busting through those box office walls.
Yeah, but there's so many factors on why that couldn't happen, but to me, the consistency and it not falling down is a bigger win.
Yeah.
That's a much bigger win.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Because everyone was like half kind of watching it, like, you fooled me a bunch of times, DC, so I don't know if I can do this.
So real quick, like, just the 26-day total for Wonder Woman versus Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad 285, Wonder Woman 325.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, but one is a movie that everyone loved, and one is a movie that everyone hated. What's now, like, right, like, should there be, like, it kind of, that's what I want to know. Like, should that be a more of a gap? Should it be
Sure. Yeah.
375 versus 300 should be $75 million more, or like in this case, like 90 million more. Should be like $100 million difference. I don't know. But here, 26-day total, Wonder Woman, 425. 26-day total for Mockingjay Part 2, 246. Okay, like that's kind of that's some maybe like makes that argument. It's hard because like Suicide Squad had so much hype. But like I don't know, like there's like dude, like people were even disappointed with Guardians too.
Well, I think it was Age of Ultron. I think Guardians was Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
I think that it's not going to age as well. And I think people were like, I wanted something new, and this was kind of the same, you know. I know it's watchable, and I know
that I like.
I don't
much.
care when they go to that planet. When they go to Ego, and they just like I don't know, they just sits around too much.
Yeah,
they're sitting around a lot.
Just
go.
There's parts of Age of Ultron where I'm like I cannot visualize the flow of that. Like I cannot visualize.
There's a party.
Like, even like
I don't know. Yeah, it's just a lot of things. And then all of a
like,
sudden they're in like Sokovia, which is like Russia, sort of.
Sokovia. They have the Hulkbuster fight, and then they
rip off Claw's arm.
They go to the house.
They hang out with Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, but there is again like.
That's Velma.
Yeah,
that's
the
reference there.
Yeah,
I
think we got it.
Linda Cardellini.
But get this, like real quick, worldwide, worldwide box office for 2017, number one, Beauty and the Beast.
The worst.
Yeah, so we can say Beauty and the Beast is 1.3, Fate of the Furious is 1.2 billion.
Didn't fail. We assumed that was failing.
Yeah. That was a big miss. You know what? I might touch on this on the solo show. There's something I was proven, like I don't want to say correct, but there was a very big call or something that I predicted from one of the Netflix shows. One of the blowback from that I did want to talk about in one of my solo shows, and it's one of those things you don't want to be proven correct on. Mm-hmm. Okay, but so we can, like, it just sucks. I don't mind being wrong or correct about this stuff, but you know, because we kind of go like I know I like to. I go into like more of like the social, like economic, the cultural like repercussions of some of this stuff, and it was something I identified during one of my discussions with my sister. But Guardians of the Galaxy 8.5 million, 500 million. Mm-hmm. Pirates 680. Wonder Woman 660. Crazy that Pirates is so high though, right?
Well, Pirates is worldwide. People still like Johnny Depp besides America.
Yeah, it's America's way off the
and Tom Cruise is going to grow because everywhere else. And remember, Wonder Woman can't play in certain parts of the world. And Dallas time, everybody.
Yeah, Dallas is on the table. What's up,
on the soundboard?
No, he's just watch it there, dude.
On the soundboard.
He Dallas doesn't come up to you much.
Buddy.
He's just being friendly.
So what do we think? What else is coming out this weekend? Despicable Me 3, which I do not want to see. I'm so not.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't want that anymore. That's it.
Okay,
Dallas in it.
Yeah, Dallas.
So what do we think this is going to do?
Box office wise,
like 50. Throw a big 50. Well, from now until Sunday, it's going to do a 60.
I'm going to say
Dallas is easy.
He is.
You're in it.
He's just rubbing his head
on the show.
Can I pick you up, buddy?
I'll write it.
Yeah, hold up here. Get over here.
Just get it.
Oh my god. Oh. Now I'm just going to have to turn him like that. There you go. We did it, buddy.
Doing great.
Thanks, buddy. But I was going to say 35. 35.
From now through Sunday?
I don't think it's going to have a run. I really don't. I think, dude, people just talk. That's it. People will talk. I don't think it's going to flood. I mean, it had like a good turnout tonight, but I think the people that showed up tonight were people like us.
I think they were disappointed. I didn't hear a whole lot of buzz out. We heard from people that were just like, that's like this, that's like this. I don't know.
And the other thing I kept thinking in this was Tropic Thunder. you don't go full retard. It fit this movie perfectly.
Yeah.
He ain't go full retard. He's half retard.
He's half.
I just love that line so much. Okay. There's a couple movie things I think we can go through next time we sit down, like a couple news things. We will continue to track the Han Solo stuff. Lucas, I know Lucas made comments. Josh Brolin, did you see his picture?
No.
Green, like they're casting the side of his face.
Oh, for Cable. Okay.
For Cable, yeah. It's they're either like molding it the one side or it's a blue screen application.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Hey.
And then today they Instagrammed Deadpool's picking up the kid from Hunt of the Wilder People.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have a kind of probably an extended cameo. He's good. That movie's very good.
Yeah.
That's Taika Waititi's last film, so somewhat Marvel-ish related. Taika Waititi's directing Ragnarok.
Yeah. But and then I'm just going through some
Trailer trash talk. What was our trailers? Our trailers were Flatliners, which we already talked about, was shit.
Oh my god.
It's like a long trailer.
Dude, it just doesn't.
It doesn't play, and it's just dead. In an age where I don't think it's a Blumhouse though, man. See, Blumhouse just freaking owns it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They fucking own it. Like when they come out with it, you're like, I don't know, and then you watch it, and you're like, okay, like Split, like very successful.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they just own it. Whatever they do. That guy's pretty smart guy. You should watch. I don't know if you ever watch interviews with that guy, Jason.
Yeah, I haven't seen any.
He's a very interesting guy. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just
big fan.
Again, just trying to see if there's any
other trailers. That was boring.
We talked about some of
Thor again.
Yeah, Thor. Just dude, people in the theater too were like excited. Like
they're still right, and they've seen it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
November.
Let's see here.
So we pretty much think that Spider-Man's is the movie that we need right now.
Did you see? Speaking of that, did you see that? I didn't read into it. Just talking about headlines that the little kid from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, who cares? That's such
like what is
bad
that
retcon.
Like what is
that's
that?
A shit retcon.
That can't be real. Are they really?
They're just saying it is. It's an easy retcon.
Yeah, but they're kind of like doing what they do in the.
They are doing what they're doing.
Like the movies, just like some of the continuity does not make any sense in the Marvel movies.
All right, so we got to elaborate on that story.
And some of it works.
The story this week, essentially, there was some interview. There was a fan theory that the little kid in Iron Man 2, when the robot's about to attack him, one of the brainwash shitty Iron Man drones, right?
Yeah.
That Justin Hammer created, and then Iron Man shows up, so that is about to murder the little kid with an Iron Man mask on, with an Iron Man toy mask on. And Iron Man shows up, blows him away,
and the kid thinks
he says, "Thanks, kid," or something like that. Yeah. And so Tom Holland was in an interview this week, and they said, "Hey, there's a fan theory that that's Peter Parker and that mask," and they're like, "Yeah, it is. It is. Like that's true. I'm saying it's true, and it's confirmed.
Yeah,
like Kevin Feige says it's true, which is not on record. It's just that, but it went through the fucking internet like that.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Do you see?" And they had the clip embedded everywhere. Every site, like, this is a real thing. I'm like, no, it's not. That movie was just thrown together in a weekend.
Yeah,
that fucking movie.
100% agree.
Like that movie was just like, it'd be great.
I'm
love drunk. You know what I mean? Like it would just be.
Yeah, I just love the fever sometimes, and but I'm still okay. Like I don't like it, but I'm still like okay with it though. But some of these fan theories are like they kind of do fire the imagination, and I still think the absolute best one, the only one that clicks, period, is the fat kid from Jurassic Park in the beginning with Sam Neill, and that kid becomes Chris Pratt. You know, like
I think I read it,
where
but
he
I just
scares him with the raptor claw, and he freaks him out.
Yeah,
and then Chris Pratt becomes like the raptor wrangler, and kind of like I don't know. I think that is so much fun, and I don't really care. Like I watched Jurassic World, and I'm like, like you're the fat kid.
You're the fat kid.
The fat, creepy looking, ghost looking. Like that kid looks like he's from The Ring in that movie. He could not have grown up.
There's no way he could look like There's no way.
Like that dude had a rough Hollywood kid life. All right, let's just sign off. Let's
43.
jump ship.
Road to 50.
Yeah, 43. We're up.
We're doing great.
I'm 50. We will. I told you some of the plans for that. We are
Huge show.
We're going to try and get everyone together. I'll hold off 52. Like if I gotta wait till everyone has like a good weekend.
We can spawn it. We can do what like McFarlane did. If people can't all meet, then we'll just release 51. We will skip 50 and just leave 51, 52, 53. Remember we did that? Todd can't count. So we'll do complete McFarlane fashion and keep releasing episodes. Yeah. And then once we have everyone together, we'll do the 50.
And I think Spider-Man Homecoming is going to be. I'm making preparation for this now. I kind of already made some steps. That will be our first call-in show. Everyone's going to call in with their thoughts, and it's just going to be cut together with some of my commentary between individual reviews, and then post 50. Here's what we'll. And I might as well just start hyping some of this stuff up now. Post 50 is going to be a run of all the contributors with their solo shows. So you will have a solo show.
Oh my gosh!
Both Marks will have a solo show. Norm will have a solo show. My sister, John. It goes on and on. Okay, including any contributor that jumps in between now and 50, meaning that I'm still looking for someone for wrestling, someone for obscure horror. So, which I'm back and forth with a pool of people for that. And FYI, got I'll be addressing some of this in my next solo show, but I got a couple corrections with my Jesus story. Okay, couple good ones. One came from Instagram. Very attractive woman. We're talking to
A theologist.
And then one of them was your father. Your father had a couple things. There's something else I'm gonna wait till I talk about it. But there's another thing that he said that I will address. So, the idea for that is I don't want to do that for morning and news. So I might start doing later shows. I might just call them Dream Warriors Howling at the Moon. And it'll be like late night Dream Warriors where I'm just like
Baywatch nights. Be like Baywatch nights.
Yeah, you're Silk Stockings. Do you remember watching Silk Stockings thinking you were going to see some skin? And
there was at least one boob shot. It's like when you watch Dream On, there's always a quick boob.
Yeah, but you thought it was going. You're like, what is this? And then it was like some shitty murder mystery that you solved before the first commercial break. Because it's like whatever new actor got introduced did it. Like there you go. But no, so we're going to play with format, and then the idea with the solo shows is that I just want to get some people working that muscle in their brain a little bit better, a little bit more. I think the solo shows tweak that, and then I might play with pairings. So there's going to be shows without Peter.
Whoa.
Okay.
This is revelations.
Yeah. So that will be 50 through 75. We'll experiment with some of those. So, and then I recalibrated what I think are. So originally it was like 100. I thought getting to 100 and maintaining content, getting better with discussion.
I already have a show in my head. There you go.
Okay, nice. Okay.
Boom, solo show done.
Yeah, well, we can do it whenever. I'm fine with that. And improving audio quality. Cranking up the pipeline of release. These are all the things. Even now too. I have to do a run of preview thumbnails for all of the social media accounts, so I can lead into what we're doing sometimes. I wanted to post that we were going to be doing a Baby Driver review, and I had nothing for that, nothing to put into social media real quick.
Right.
So I made a list, so these are the things we chip away at. But originally it was episode 100, but I really feel just based on what I see other people have done, it's going to be post 300 episodes. We're going to have to maybe go to 310, 325. Okay. That is when we should have a sizable audience at that point to to really do something with. Okay, but dude, I think we hit 50. We're not there yet, but we make good progress.
Yep.
We really do.
It happened.
You know, and then we'll have we'll have more of a guest rollout once Norm's back into the fold. I think Mark wants to try and do a movie and a review this weekend. The other Mark, not Marc the Merc.
Despicable Me 3.
Yeah, I might have to do something with your name for your thumbnails. Like, kind of like something with a two gun silhouettes, like skull and crossbones with two rifles, and a skull because you're the Merc. The Merc,
we'll figure it out.
The Merc that just listed Speed Racer of is infinitely watchable movies.
It is.
And we'll just end with that.
That's it.
The Wachowskis are God, no, just
They're our favorite.
they're women now.
One.
No, both.
Is that a thing?
Yeah,
I missed it.
you did. The Wachowskis are women.
Well, you know what?
Because they're called Wachowskis now. They're not Wachowskis. I think in even Jupiter Ascending, they're credited as Wachowskis.
I think one guy's still it's Lana and
Laura, I think now.
Yeah, wrong.
Bruce Jenner got both of them.
Move on to the next direction.
Okay, let's do that. Signing off now.
Signing off. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.